Welcome back to the Allgoods, Vietnam through the eyes of love. I'm Elisa Allgood. This episode is different. Instead of a single letter, I want to pause and look back at the journey so far. The first 5 months of letters, from April through September 1971. In the podcast, I've organized them into seasons. But in real life, these letters are months in a row, day after day, night after night. And I want to remind you, the letters don't stop here. I have them through April of 1972, covering my mom's entire pregnancy, my dad's deployment, and the months after I was born. At this point, we've reached 240 podcast episodes, made from about 500 letters. Some of those letters run 8 to 10 handwritten pages. So it's really thousands of pages of words, love, and history. And here's the part that still amazes me. I'm reading them for the very first time, right alongside you. It started on April 27th, 1971. My dad, Captain Richard Dick Allgood, deployed to Vietnam as a rescue helicopter pilot. My mom, Captain Sarah Allgood, stayed in San Antonio, newly pregnant with me and just leaving her Air Force career as a captain, as a nurse. Those first few letters are raw, tender, and funny. They invent nicknames for each other. Precious darling, Whittle Chickie, and I'm the Whittle One. They cling to daily details, like what they ate or who they saw, because that's how you keep someone close when you're that far away. By June, my mom was learning how to live outside of the Air Force. Her belly was beginning to show, and Dad imagined her every move from across the world, as though he could see her. Friends like Pam, Jan, Joy, Cookie, and Nancy and Mike Murray start to fill the letters. In July, took my mom to Miami to visit her best friend Judy. And my dad, he kept the countdown to the R&R in Hawaii coming up in September. Their letters grew playful and flirty, even while the distance hurt. On July 31st, my mom saw Ray Charles live in concert in Miami, while my dad hosted a party in Vietnam for the squadron. 2 different places, one shared moment in the same day. In August brought turning points. On August 3rd, my mom felt me move for the very first time. That kick made me real to both of them. And their friends, Bill Cobbs and Jerry Dormany, appeared, shaping the future to come. And meanwhile, everyday life filled the pages. Trips to the Handy Andy to get groceries, ribs on the grill, music, and parties with friends. And then September. September was the month they had been waiting for. On September 9th, they reunited in Hawaii at the Hilton Rainbow Towers. For 1 week, they were together again. But then it ended too soon. My dad had to go back to Vietnam. On September 15th, after Dad flew back to Vietnam, Mom wrote one of the most heartbreaking letters in the collection. I can still feel her that day, the pain. And the rest of September shows them struggling to settle back into separation. And Mom was showing more, feeling the baby's kicks from the inside and seeing them on the outside. Dad hosted parties, even while in Vietnam. He joked with his friend Pi, and he dreamed of the day he'd come home to be with my mom and with me. The letters deepened with intimacy, and they deepened with the longing. Here's where I have to be completely honest. This is not just my parents' story. It's also my story, the story of how I was brought into this world, I was the baby in these letters, the little one they dreamed about every single day. Every craving my mom had, every kick she felt, every hope and fear they had for me, it's written into these pages. And I'm reading their words as their daughter, but also as the baby they were writing about. And I'm reading them for the first time, just like you, alongside you. See, my parents never told me these letters existed, and they survived for over 50 years, untouched, somehow not ruined. Even survived Hurricane Andrew and made it all the way to Montana for me to discover them after they both passed away in 2020. To hold them now truly feels like a miracle. A friend of mine asked me recently if I had read them all, and I told her no, I can't. It's just honestly too much to take in all at once. Reading them, the emotions, that's the hard part. Sitting with their voices and their love, and all the love they had for me, but also their pain. By the time I record them into a podcast episode, that's the easy part. And this project, it just isn't for me. It is for you. But it's also, I'm doing this for my son Wiley. He was barely 5 years old when both of my parents died. He never got to the chance to really know them. He doesn't remember them. They loved him so much. But through these letters, he can get to know them a little more. He can get to know me a little bit more and how I was brought into this world. Because this, too, is his legacy. And this one's for my dad, who loved to read so much, but he lost his eyesight to cancer at the very end of his life. At the very end of his life, all he could do was listen. He couldn't watch Alabama football, and he couldn't read Carl Hiaasen books. And that's another reason why I'm creating this podcast, why I'm creating this here. It's a way for their voices to be heard, even now, and for the people who might not be able to read any longer. I want to thank you guys for listening to this special recap episode of the Allgoods, Vietnam Through the Eyes of Love. We've covered the first 5 months, April through September 1971. That's 240 episodes, about 500 letters, every single day, and we're still only halfway through. The story continues through April of 1972, carrying us through the rest of my mom's pregnancy, the birth of myself, and my dad's return months later. The next chapter is Season 6, October 1971. If this journey has moved you, I'd love for you to share it. And you can also support the project at buymeacoffee.com/The Allgoods Love. And please remember to follow or subscribe wherever you listen. This isn't just my parents' love story, or a story about love across an ocean during a war. It's also my story, the story of how I was born, what they did when I was in her belly, and it's also Wiley's. And I'm so grateful to be able to share it with you and to be able to have this to remind me of the legacy and the love that I was born out of. Thank you again for listening. Be back soon with the next letter from October 1st. Until then.